When hinges creak in doorless chambers and strange frightening sounds echo through the halls, whenever candlelights flicker, when the air is deathly still, that is the time those are present, practicing their coolest delight. When cryptos creak and tombstones quake, spoons come out for a swinging wake. Happy hearts materialize and begin to vocalize. Grim grinning ghosts come out to socialize. Close your eyes and don't try to hide. Shrouded in a dark disguise. Grim grinning ghosts come out to socialize. When cryptos creak and tombstones quake, spoons come out for a swinging wake. Happy hearts materialize and begin to vocalize. Grim grinning ghosts come out to socialize.
All right, the bats are out of the fucking cage, and here we are.
What is happening, everybody? It feels like it has been a long time since we've done one of these, but it hasn't.
Man, it really does. It feels like it though. This month's like it's flown by, but at the same time, for stuff like this, it feels like it hasn't. So there we go. So Chuck, catch us up. What's going on? What's some of the events you've been doing? What have you been up to?
Oh, good Lord. We go and set up at other conventions to promote our convention, Kazakon and then BGX, which BGX is next weekend. So I was in Ohio doing a convention called Final Boss Con, and then today we had a community sale we did at Glade. And then, like I said, next weekend is BGX, but it's exhausting, especially whenever you don't have any sleep from work, because I work midnights and then I have to bounce right into the event. So that's about it. What's been going on with you, Josh? You've got some pretty hustling and bustling, man.
Dude, just life stuff, man. Like just trying to get the fence stained. Get the other night that storm, dude. Like we had just wrapped up dinner and the power went out. We were explaining to my stepdaughter, like, everything's fine, nothing to worry about. This is the house,
except for the
safe.
Stuff under your bed. I mean,
the house is safe, everything's fine. And she's like, there's water coming out of the ceiling. What?
It's not fine, Josh.
Oh my gosh. So I look up and there's water pouring out of various holes in the ceiling. I run upstairs and there's Mike. I am doing very well on the fence so far, but the storm set me back a little bit. It's coming along nicely. But I ran upstairs and I saw water coming. It looked like it was coming out of the walls. It looked like the walls were crying. And I was like, what is going on? And I opened the window in the bathroom and water just flooded out. Like between the screen and the window, like the inch at the bottom of the sill was just filling up with water and just pouring in and pouring in and pouring in. And right into the kitchen down below it. So it was gonna have to get that taken care of.
Yeah, that's a future me problem, is what I like to say.
I mean, I'm sick. I feel like garbage today.
Yeah, you've been feeling rough for the past couple weeks. I told you
it's been a weird month. It's been a weird month, but this time I'm pretty sure is because during the storm I decided I would take care of whatever I could. So I went out on the roof during the storm and was trying to fix things that were leading to the water coming in. So
yeah,
that I feel like was definitely the problem. Mikey, I will definitely, you've been in the back of my mind during all of this, so I will definitely reach out to you. It's home ownership, man. It's something else.
Oh yeah, no, it's one thing or another. That's that old saying of like, if it ain't one thing, it's another. That is a very true statement of like, you save up that money and you're like, all right, well, we've been meaning to get the driveway graveled or paved, and then as soon as that movie money is saved, you're like, oh, cool, you get it done. It's like, oh well, the air conditioner done blew a rod or whatever. Now we have to fix that, and it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, you're never on top of it. And if you
Yeah,
are, if you ever feel like you're on top of it,
I was
you're
already
wrong.
looking for somebody to look at the ceilings in a couple of rooms.
Yeah.
I was already looking to get that taken care of, and then that happened, and I was like, guess I'll just add this one to the list. So, what movie won? What up, buddy? Nope, we're just talking about life right now.
Yeah, we were about to kick into. We wanted to get everybody to get in and kind of settle before we started because we're only 5 minutes in. We want to make sure everybody's comfortable before we kick right into it. Just like
have their popcorn.
Yeah,
everything they need for.
We're gonna keep this one. We're gonna do our best to keep it. Each one of our discussions that are an hour now, and I think with our new format of not going beat by beat is going to help a lot. So we're going to
join us, get your Marty party supplies ready, and let's talk Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah, we are discussing this movie right now.
Bam, there she is.
Which actually is I probably revisit it once every year to 2 years, something like that. I feel like, I mean, it's just to me, it's just a fun movie, and it doesn't feel like it doesn't lag anywhere, if that makes sense. Like, you don't feel like, oh, okay, I'm at this point in the movie, and this is a take. It's like, oh, it's almost over type of situation. I know you're not into comedy, I mean horror comedies, but this was like a tongue-in-cheek type of, like, they took. It wasn't so much a spoof as like your scary movie or anything like that. It was
more of a nod.
Higher.
Like I guess when someone says like horror comedy to me, I think of like the corny cheeseball shit. I don't think of Cabin in the Woods.
Like
it fits.
Dracula Dead and Loving It and stuff.
Stuff like that. Yeah, like it totally fits into that genre.
Yeah.
But because of it's not so slapstick. Like the actors, the actresses within this movie, like they're not playing it up. They're not just like catering to that humor. It's just little things that naturally, like the merman finally getting him in the end, like spurting the blood out the blowhole, like stuff like that. That there's comedy elements to it, or comedic elements to it, or whatever. But it wasn't so overdone that it makes the movie feel like corny BS, you know?
Oh yeah. Now, spoiler.
Oh man, I'm gonna spoil the shit.
Yeah, spoiler warning if you have not seen the movie, which I don't know what you're doing because it's free on a few platforms. I think we picked I know it's on Max for free.
Max.
Yeah. Well, what used to be HBO Max now it's just Max.
What does HBO stand for?
HBO, home box office. I don't know. I'm making it up. I don't think that's it. But so, what do you think of the movie, John?
I do like this movie. This is not a movie that I hate by any stretch. I enjoy this movie. It's not one that I would watch over and over again, but it was good to see it. It's been a minute. I do want to point out one thing that I found interesting. One of the movies I had up for voting was Fido. Like it's about a family that has a pet zombie, and pet zombies are like the thing, whatever.
Yeah.
And Bill Connolly played Fido in that movie. Bill Connolly was also in Boondock Saints. The lead actress in this movie was Kristen Connolly. So I thought that was interesting, like a nice little tie. That's his daughter. So that little connection made me happy.
Yeah. All right. So if Marty isn't your favorite, you're wrong.
I love Marty. Marty's the shit. Like, just from his intro, like, comes rolling in, closes his window from the outside to lock his car. Or locks his car through the open window, and then seals up his bowl, and he's ready to hit the road. Like, that dude is straight business.
One of the first facts you can actually find is that bowl / mug is a functioning bowl and mug. They spent over $5,000 on the prototype to make that thing actually work. Yeah.
So I know someone who got someone that they really like a water cup like that, and it was only like $50. So bite me, prop team.
There you go. Hey, maybe if it wasn't for that prop team, that would have never happened.
That's probably true. The
Because-
coffee cup solidified it for me as well, Wolford. And like
Yeah.
the fact that it just came in handy throughout the entire movie with like the hero music in the background
Yeah.
as he like stops the bear trap. Mm-hmm.
It's like a, it's a utility thermos.
I hear that the chamber is too big on them, that a lot of smokers, they're just casual smokers. I don't smoke. So
No.
and like, I'm not just saying that because we're on YouTube or whatever. Like I literally don't smoke.
Yeah,
But I have heard that the chamber is really deep, so it's hard to like clear it or whatever.
Like, strangely enough, watching a few of your unboxings of alcohol, I was like, you know what? I'm not a drinker. I'm not, if it isn't, I'm a girl when it comes to that. Of like, man, I don't want to taste any of the alcohol. Like, if you give me something that tastes just like Kool-Aid, I'm like, ooh, that's nice.
Yeah.
But I ordered this because there's a video on it. I'll have to, I have a lot of videos lined up to actually come out. So lucky you guys. But this right here, it's called Waking the Demon.
All right.
It's a honey mead.
Okay. Meads.
And it's
really
and it's from Bullet for My Valentine.
Oh.
Yeah, it's from the UK. And it actually got here pretty quick comparatively. But there's a video on me talking about it.
Do you film yourself tasting it?
No.
That's always the best part about my like liquor unboxings because I also don't really drink. So I'll take like a shot and just be like, it's the worst shot face ever. Yeah. I highly encourage you.
I had all intentions to do it, but my mom had cooked dinner, and it was like me, Chesley, my mom, and then like my grandma came over, my older sister came over. I mean, it was just a bunch of people. And my older sister is a drinker. I was like, oh, I have this honey mead. I was like, I haven't opened it yet because I haven't done a video and all that. So I opened it and we all tried it. And let's just say that the line of that bottle won't move.
It's got to be good. Like, I really enjoy mead.
She said that you ever tasted feet? And I was like, no. She's like, because she's the one that tasted it first. And I was like, that's not a very good sign if feet is the first thing you go to.
Ugh. Yeah, that takes away from what I'm saying.
All right, well, let's jump to the movie. Enough about tasting feet liquor.
It was interesting, like, the movie had to play into, like, the horror stereotypes. So you have your nerdy girl, your nerdy virgin, who's breaking up with her college professor. You have the jock, and that's played by Chris Helmsworth. But he also, when he first comes in, he's giving, like, book recommendations. So you don't have this stereotypical jock. He has, like, a philosophical side or, like, a intelligence about him, right? You got your stoner. What is that? Virgin, nerds. What's the other guy supposed to be?
Well, there's Virgin, which is the girl. The slut, which is Hemsworth's Kurt's girlfriend. And then you have Kurt, which is the jock. The dude that they're introducing her to is supposed to be the nerd. As you can see through his, like, as his character line advances, he starts wearing glasses.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He starts being more philosophical whenever he's reading the book. He's like, "Oh, I know Latin and stuff." And then you got the stoner. So you have your 5 archetypes: your virgin, stoner, slut, nerd, and jock is the 5 archetypes. So,
and you know what? I'm not gonna shame that girl. Jules was a nice lady. She looked perfectly fine as a blonde. Her making out with the wolf was a little cringy for me, but she put her heart and soul into it.
Yeah, for that to be tolerable, I read that they coated the wolf's mouth with powdered sugar, so she wasn't like gagging whenever she was doing it. I guess.
Oh yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah,
that's an actress right there, like committed to your craft.
Now, what's weird is if you watch this, it's hard to see. It's hard to. Chris Hemsworth is not that notable. In this, he doesn't look like he does now. Oh, because this was filmed in like 2006.
It was before he Thored up.
Yeah, this was
like old Thor, not fat Thor.
Josh Whedon or Joss. I don't
Joss,
want
yeah.
to. Yeah, just Josh. I keep saying Josh. Joss Whedon and Drew Goddard or whatever. They like locked themselves up. They had a few failed ideas. They came together and they put it together, and they ended up banging most of the script out in like a long weekend, like 3 days. And then
That's wild because
yeah,
the 80s made consumer. Gonna warn you now, we will be spoiling the hell out of this movie, so be warned. But the fact that they were able to rip through it that quickly, it's a solid script. Like it's a solid. I didn't realize it was done that fast.
Well, by this time, Whedon has had tons under his belt. You have all of Buffy, Angel. He's got a lot of stuff under his belt. So I think that helped a whole lot. And he did. Have you ever seen Dr. Horrible Sing Along Blog?
I've heard of it.
Yeah, that little musical he did. I think it's like about a 50-minute musical or something. If you've never seen it, it's got Neil Patrick Harris as the lead. It's a fun movie. Go look it up. But he did that in like 3 or 4 days.
Okay.
In
yeah,
like
I know
his
I've
brother's
heard of
house
that.
or something. It was very quick. Like he did all the music and stuff like that. It was the extras on that is good to watch. But they banged it all out. They filmed the movie and then it was shelved because this was like 2006, 2007, and it was slated like, hey, this is one of this is Chris Hemsworth and this stuff like that, and then all of a sudden, I think it was MGM that had it went bankrupt, so it went on the shelf with the collection, and I do believe Lionsgate is the one who bought MGM's stuff, and they saw it and they're like, hey, we got to make this happen. We enjoyed it, so we think it's going to happen. So they took it to I think 2 different film festivals before they actually put it out, and it got a overall great acceptance at the film festivals. So they knew it was something. So what makes him so unrecognizable is because we saw him as Thor first.
Mm-hmm.
Because Thor came out in, I do believe it was like May 2011.
It's gonna be May.
And then December 2011 / into 2012 is when we got Cabin in the Woods. And I think right around that time we got also the remake of Red Dawn. So
fucking Hemsworth summer.
Yeah.
And then his brother goes and rips out Miley Cyrus's heart like a little punk ass.
I'm sure he ripped more than that out, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, sir.
But they said that the way he commanded and like led the group in this movie after people saw it through screenings is what got him his part in Red Dawn.
Did you see that remake? I love the original Red Dawn. I love that movie. The remake
was
hard not bad
for me not to like anything that Patrick Swayze's in.
That's fair.
That man was taken too soon from us. I'll tell you that.
And so Tim DeZarn pops up as like a very important character within a character, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tim DeZarn comes in as Mordecai, the creepy gas station attendant, like your stereotypical role in like with this kind of like backwoods horror movie, right?
Yeah,
like spits
out. Harbinger.
Yes, Susan. I did not know that. That is awesome to know. Very ironic. Comes out just like y'all don't want to go up there and all that, just like talking shit. Marty smarts off to him, and later on you see like the conversation between the office personnel and Mordecai, and he's talking this like really strange like
doom is coming, the blood.
I keep saying philosophical. I don't know why. Yeah, he keeps like this doom is coming exactly. And am I on speakerphone? And they're just mocking him like that. I think that was one of the coolest things about the movie is like in the beginning, how the office personnel were just fun. They were just like, this is our job. We love our job. Everything's going to be great. Taking bets on who the killers were going to be. Like they were just having a grand time.
Yeah. Well, if you, that was one of the things that they wanted to have is when the movie opened, I'm pretty sure none of the trailers, like original teasers and stuff like that, you ever saw the Office stuff. You never knew. This was like once you started watching the movie, you're like, what's going on? You know, this was supposed to be your typical horror movie, right? You know, cabin in the woods. There's a cabin in the woods, people getting killed and stuff like that. But when it opened and there's these two guys in this office setting talking shop and getting ready to go and stuff, they said they wanted to put that right in the opening, so it would confuse people to make them think that maybe they sat down at the wrong movie.
And it worked. I definitely remember seeing that and being like, what is going on? Like, this is the weirdest shit. Because you had like Richard Jenkins, you had Bradley Whitford, and then later on you get Brian J. White as like the security guard in their room. But those guys were just so like slap happy, like cutting jokes.
Yeah.
It felt like the wrong movie. Just like you said. It felt like the wrong movie.
Yeah, and I mean, you can see people that Whedon likes to cast people he knows. Like the chemist, like the young lady that they meet right at the beginning too. I forget her name right off the bat.
Amy Ackler? Was it Wendy?
Yeah, Lynn.
Yeah.
She is actually in Angel
and Alias. Yeah,
she did. Yeah, she did a bunch of stuff with him, and I mean that's how I recognized her face when I first saw it. But yeah, I just love the chemistry. Like, to me, these actors had really good chemistry with each other.
Agreed.
And it made the movie fun. Like, even though through the movie they had to fit into their archetypes, and due to the drugs and the hair dye and the stuff they were pumping in the room and outside, it was making them fit their archetypes. When you first meet Kurt and what's her name? Jules. They seem like a fun couple. Like, it's not like a overbearing jock and like a slut. No, they're just a fun. There's a fun
right.
couple. Like, I love. Where'd you get these books? Like, I learned it from watching you.
I loved that. I thought that was great. They incorporated that.
Yeah, that's just it's like, they have fun. They play around and stuff. And like I said, they go well together. And I do like that Fran Kranz. I don't know how to say it. It's just funny trying to say it. Fran Kranz. He played Marty. Time. Yeah. Like I said last time when we were talking about the movie, he was in that I Might Be the Killer, or I'm Not the Killer, or something like that. But yeah. So
Darko.
Let's
and just like you said, I didn't catch on until watching it last night. Actually, I don't remember noticing in the past when I watched it how they were manipulating the individuals. Like, it wasn't just like manipulating and setting up the stage for everything. Like, I remember them talking about how they put the stuff in the hair dye to make her dumber. And I remember them talking about how his weed was counteracting whatever that they were trying to do to him.
He was such a stoner, and he smoked so much pot that nothing they were throwing at this dude was slowing him down.
Right. And a couple other little things I remember catching, but for the most part, like I didn't remember catching on to how much they added in to force them to become those characters.
Yeah.
And then you have China. China is also involved in all this, and you have what, like 3 countries doing it, 4 countries.
It was
doing it?
Oh, hold on. It was Japan. I have it written. Okay. We had Kyoto.
Not to be confused with Kyoto.
Stockholm, Madrid, and Buenos Aires. But Kyoto was Ring. That was like what it was going off of. You know how in ours it was the States was your typical slasher cabin in the woods, and then they kind of had picked their killer. Buenos Aires was King Kong. Stockholm, they said, was like a reference to John Carpenter's The Thing, and then Madrid was what they thought appeared to be Dracula, maybe.
Okay.
So now, what I wanted to know was when they were in the basement, we saw certain corresponding monsters for the things they were touching.
Right.
The conch shell he picked up and almost blew and got old boy like, finally the fish.
Finally
the
get my merman.
Yeah. But he put it down. We knew that corresponded with that. We knew the
The ball.
sphere. Yeah, the sphere configuration was their take on Pinhead.
Yep.
We
painting
know
of the child was something too.
Yeah, and then we saw he messed with that music box that had the ballerina. So of course we saw the ballerina with the open face, and then she had the diary, but Jules had that pendant that came off that wedding dress, it looked like, and Marty was looking at film.
Yep.
And those are the two. I don't know what corresponding monsters they went to. I meant to look them up, but
that's a good point. I wrote down all those, like what they were looking at, but I didn't think to connect them to those. That's a good point.
Because I think they said there was like 30 unique monsters that they like. They said that we created specifically for this. You didn't really create the. I mean, you kind of you buffered off other stuff. Like there was the killer clowns. You're like, they're murderous clowns. So
kind of like the clown that was almost identical to Pennywise.
Yeah.
Don't tell Pinmaker McGee.
And then your typical giant snake. You're bad. You got a kick out of it, didn't you?
That's me, right?
Woo-wee.
The giant snake. That I hate snakes.
Yeah. I thought you would have really been uncomfortable with that the spider, the tarantula that was crawling around him.
Yeah, no, gross. And then, I mean, at the end, when hell unfolds.
Yeah.
Did you watch that YouTube clip I sent you?
I had seen it before, but it's been a long time since I've watched it. And I know you wanted to kind of show everybody whenever.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet, so we'll get a little reaction. We have a clip that we want to show when we get there.
It's only about a minute and some change, so no.
Yeah.
It's not nothing huge.
But yeah, so the stuff in the basement that really was going to set the tone for what happened, and they end up reading that story. So they get the nerd who can read the Latin in it. And what was it? Like the family was abusing the daughter. She was trying to get away, and they cut off her arm or something.
It was because they're not zombies,
right?
They're redneck torture a zombie family, something like that.
The Buckners, zombie redneck torture family.
Yeah, you got to be very specific.
Yeah,
because she was upset. Maintenance won.
Maintenance like and the intern.
They pick the
same thing every year.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Now I saw that. If you see on the cameras, Godred tried to zoom in as best he could on each one of the things that was going on the camera, so you could see. And the intern is actually in a room, and he holds up a sign. He's like being attacked by like Hellbat or something like this, and then at the end it says the intern. Like at the end of his little sign, it's like, oh yeah, I'm the intern.
I liked the intern, that poor little shit.
But
let's see. Tom Blink, character of Andrew Wells in the television series Buffy the Vampire. I know an Andrew Wells. That's funny. But so the diary, blah blah blah. Once this like hillbilly family, zombie redneck torture family, once they come out of the woodwork, just all shit breaks loose. Like Jules and Chuck are gonna Jules and Chuck.
Yeah.
Jules and Kurt are gonna run off in the woods and make some babies. But of course it gets interrupted. They gotta turn up the pheromones, get them all hot and bothered, ready to go for some steamy action, and she gets a fucking knife to the hand.
I really like that everything that we know about a horror movie is actually in reality orchestrated by something greater. Like she was like, I'm just cold, and she walks away. So he's like, all right. They turn up the heat, and like you said, they adjusted the hormones, and then she's like, it's just dark out here. Let's go back inside. And then they alter the moonlight so it's shining through, and they're like, "Oh, let's go over here. It's more romantic."
All the stuff that was supposed to happen, like the cave was supposed to explode early on, like all the little pieces that they were making sure fell into place. But also, isn't the rules of it that they weren't supposed to get too involved?
They're supposed to put stuff in place. Basically, they can't kill them themselves, but they can orchestrate enough to where, just like how they talked about, it doesn't matter what order they die in.
As long
The
as the virgin goes first, right?
As long as
last.
the virgin has to go last or survive. That's a give. That's a whatever. So, yeah, I liked how that showed that and stuff, and then everybody kind of run amok and was biting it.
And the best thing about like the entire movie was like as they're laying out all these scenes, as you're seeing what's going on in the background, and as you're hearing like the merman and stuff, like once they get down to the basement and you see all those different horror elements in the little elevators, it's insane. Like that was so wild, and it's just such like a train wreck going towards the end. Like everything just comes off the rails in the best ways possible.
And Marty has just great little one-liners or whatever, or he throws stuff out, and like if you're not paying attention, you may not notice. Whenever they get down to the bottom, like because they're being shifted through the elevators. I know we skipped like almost all the beginning, but hey, this is our new format.
We're not doing it in order anymore, damn it. Yeah. That's our we're reserving this right.
But they're going through the configurations of like different elevators and they're moving, and then they notice them in the elevator, so like, hey, let's bring them straight down. So they bring them straight down, and when it opens, that guard is there. And they're all freaking out, and then zombie hand grabs him. And then whenever they bust him in the head, he falls, and they're leaving. Marty looks down, and he's like, good work, zombie hand.
Yep. Fucking Marty, man. He had some, like, Pop-Tarts. Like, he was just, he played the stoner role so well.
He trained.
I bet he
as
did.
A stoner. Like, I think it was like 2 hours a day or something like that. They taught him how to properly roll a joint and just be a stoner. So that was really great. And we're talking about the elevators, who puts a monster purge button? So
oh yeah, dude, right,
so right there. And the purge button isn't like they all catch on fire or they all blow up. It just lets them loose.
Right. It releases them to just destroy you.
Doesn't make any sense. Since we're on Marty, you know what I'm saying. If you notice when they go in the swimming scene early on, everybody's jumping and he's fully clothed, and he's wearing all those clothes, and then he never jumps in, and then to fit his stoner look, though everything's baggy. They said that there was no way we could have him take off his clothes to get in the water, because at that time he was in better shape and had a better physique than Hemsworth or the other guy.
That's insane.
They say he was ripped. Like they called him like I think a muscular Jesus or like a stoner Jesus or whatever because of how ripped he was. I had to look up a picture so I could put it as a steal, but I didn't. I'm sure there's a picture around there with him without a shirt on or anything. But there's one scene, I think it's after the lake, and they're standing. He does something, and you can see the shirt gets tight, and you can see that he does have
pecs of steel.
Yeah,
fucking stoner Superman. When Kurt and Jules get attacked, like I thought the bear trap was sick. Like I thought that was, you don't really see bear traps used as weapons in movies, so that was really cool. And then you get the whole like she dies, and it comes back, and it has Richard Jenkins. This we offer in humility and fear, for the blessed peace of your eternal slumber, as it ever was. And they turn the thing to make the blood go. And that's, you start to see like exactly what's happening in this movie. Like you finally like everything's been laid out pretty well. But for those of you in the back who are sleeping or not paying attention, you really start to see, oh shit, they're sacrificing, but why?
And then it slowly becomes more, relevant that you're seeing why this is happening and what they're going to have to do. And then you see that, Kyoto, Japan fails. And basically it all hinges on the U.S. to pull it out, because at least one ritual has to work a year. Is the way I've understood it. Is like multiple rituals happen around this time, and one has to come to fruition and stuff like that, for the old ones to stay asleep.
Right. You gotta keep those motherfuckers sleeping.
Yeah. And we're gonna throw the kill count out now. Everybody.
Oh yeah, dude. What is the world's population? Because that's
because I think in an interview they asked Whedon, they're like, "Oh, was there gonna be a sequel?" He's like, "Did you even watch the movie?"
You know what? I was recently talking to somebody about how a sequel for that movie would be rad to see.
Yeah.
And
you forgot the end. Yeah.
It would have to be prequels.
It was or a remake.
And I don't think a prequel.
Or just
I don't think a prequel
retelling.
would work.
Yeah. No, because I don't think they could ever. Honestly,
they wouldn't be able to
make a sequel, a prequel, a requel, nothing like that, because of the just the way this movie was done and how it was done. You're like, oh, this was a fun movie. I really enjoyed it, and that's it. Like, you don't want any more, you don't want any less. It was like when you finish dinner and everything's just right, and you're like, you know what?
This isn't a movie that like I could watch a new version of and not just be disappointed. Like, I don't feel like they could get this kind of cast together to recapture what they did in this movie.
No.
There is one thing that I'm wondering. I'm going to put it across here right now. Because Marty says this. He's got a husband bulge. What the fuck does that mean? Like, it's when it's when Dana's on the couch with, what's his name, Holden.
Well, did you, whenever they're reading the diary.
Yeah.
And because the girl is telling her her POV in the diary about the whole family sacrifices people and stuff like that. And one of her brothers, she says she don't know if she'll ever be comfortable killing or sacrificing like her brothers because of like the joy they get that gives them a husband bulge. And then that's where it falls in the play of like, it's basically a hard-on is what it is.
Oh yeah, definitely boner. It was definitely Oh, okay, that makes sense then. All right, we'll hide that then. So I'm trying to see what other things I wrote in my notes here. Whoa, man! When the kids win and they're like singing and playing and they capture the evil spirit and the frog.
The frog, yeah.
And Richard Jenkins like, "Fuck you!"
Yeah,
it's like, "Fuck you," the kids. Like, I love a good "fuck you" directed at children. That always makes me happy.
Oh, I love him in Step Brothers.
Oh yeah, dude. He's and Bradley Whitford was great in this movie too. Like, he's been in a lot of different things, and it's funny because it's the same name as the guitarist in Aerosmith. But Bradley Whitford has been in so much, and I never realized just how much he's been in.
Oh yeah, I think everybody did a great job. Like, everybody was well casted.
This was a great casting. Like, everything. Yeah, I absolutely agree. And it's funny, like, I had to have seen this before Thor. I feel like I had to have.
Well, I'm a huge Marvel fan. So that was whenever we were still real thirsty for Marvel movies. So I knew I saw the Marvel movies first.
I was late getting into the Marvel movies, so I would have seen this first. I don't remember when I saw it, but it's funny because like I shared on Instagram last night that I was watching it, and pretty much everybody was like, "For the first time?" No, this for the first time in a while.
Yeah,
we got Jesse Friesen, Chef Jay Friesen. Said it was a modern masterpiece, comical but dark enough. Completely agree with that statement.
Yeah.
Horror aspect is so, but all of the tropes are there, and it's so beautifully blatant. On top of it, the casting. Throwing a Thor bro into his death on an invisible fence. The behind the scenes is where it's at. Also, pre-Silver Fox Bradley Whitford. That was from my friend Carly. Just all the feedback. I have not heard a single person say something bad about this movie.
No, I was gonna say you were the only one that was like, I didn't really, it was meh. But then you're like, I haven't watched it in a long time. I was like, okay, well,
this was the one of all.
Your taste might get better with age.
Of all the ones you suggested, this was the one that I was really hoping would happen. So I am happy. But Yeah,
You didn't like my
really
Tucker
had
and
that-
Dale? Jeez.
Oh my gosh, no.
That's a fun movie to me.
We're
I
done.
like. Yeah.
I mean, so many people since we put up that survey have told me like you have to see this. That I feel like I'll need to visit it. I'm trying to see. I didn't really take a lot of notes for this one. I just wanted it to naturally happen. But
Yeah.
do you want to take a look at that video?
Oh yeah. Let's
All right,
let's roll the beautiful bean footage.
Let's key this up here. Do that. We'll have that. Do that.
Please be patient while we do our technical moving of things. Yeah.
All right, if I point here, look at this over here. What we have here, my friends, is the Cabin in the Woods bonus populating with monsters. I have not watched this yet, but this is going to show us some of the spooky, creepy crawlers that were in the elevators. So let's check it out. Chuck, give me a thumbs up if you get the sound.
Then it came down to, well, we populate every single cube that's in here with monsters, right? Which it sounds neat, and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, and we'll just throw some monsters in. And well, as it turns out, and you've got, I can't remember now the number of elevators we had. We're easily dealing with now suddenly thousands of elements of monsters, and some of them are 3D, some of them are shot on a green screen, and we had days of just, okay, well, we just need to shoot random monsters in
standing box. If something was ready, take it out there and then shoot it. Then put zombies in there. They had a mini one. You put bugs in there. Put my head in one, like a floating version of my head.
Yeah, Heather Linden
is the elevator.
Actually worked on some of the special effects.
That was the next to the smallest size. The smallest being for the insects, and this we did the blob mainly in. The blob was, this kind of big, but when we shoot it in here and it's pressed up against the glass and it goes into the Costco of death, it of course appears as though it's an 8-foot round.
Do you say the Costco of death?
Yeah.
Huge, enormous blob. And this was mainly used for the giant, which was a large man, but not a extraordinarily large giant. And so as you can see,
that is not a large man.
Someone gets into it appears to be much bigger than it actually, the person appears to be much bigger. She
is not threatening me at all. Like, she could kill me and I would be none the wiser.
Than they actually are.
She death by snoo snoo? Is that what that is from Futurama?
Wow. All right. So before I turn this off here, let me. What is this? Shut up. I love that it's StreamYard. We are using StreamYard.
Yeah.
This is kind of funny. Let's go back here.
Came down to populate everything in here with monsters.
Turn that off. All right. So we got the little guy with the axe. You got the snake in here. The bugs. You have like a floating person right here, and he's up here too.
Yeah, like I said, I think they did 30, and so some of them might be copied because of how many.
There's the floating head he was talking about. The blob was really cool, like how that panned out to be the blob. That is rad. Like, that is such a cool way that they did all of that. I wonder if we're going to get sued. Joss Whedon's going to call us and be like, you should.
No, it was it's fair use. It was on YouTube, and we altered it in some way because we commentated over it.
That's right. That's why I kept talking.
Yeah.
Because I love the sound of my own voice.
Who doesn't
Look at this guy.
Your voice, Josh?
This guy right here. Opening up his horror pack of 2023. All right. So, yeah, I mean, the way that they pulled that off and the way they were able to bring everything together just was a really rad way to go about it. I love how they brought in all those different monsters, how they made that work for that scene. Like, it was great. Someone's laughing at us. Better be a good laugh. Oh, it's Wilford. Okay, I can laugh.
Well, I guess my stuff's lagging because I'm not getting messages no more. People don't like me.
It just shows up at the top. That one. Our audience is being quiet now. They were all about it in the beginning.
Yeah, I looked up the wiki of the monster items. you still hear me?
Yeah, I'd mute it.
Oh, you walked up for a we got the Diary is for the Buckner family. Conch Shell is for Merman. Puzzle Fear is for the Lord of Bondage and Pain. Okay, the necklace. It's time for bed, Josh. The necklace that Jules holds was for the Bride. The music box was the Sugar Plum Fairy. And then the clowns, or the fortune teller machine down there goes to the clowns. Unicorn tapestry is for the unicorn. Okay. The amulet is for the werewolf. The whistle is for the killer robot. The jar of Edu Squatch is for the Squatch. And then the film strip is for Kevin. Who was Kevin?
Yeah, okay. Kevin.
Do you remember Elijah Wood's character from Sin City?
Sin City, yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Kevin. So that was the film. So there we go.
There are 4 major types of characters. There was supernatural. The monsters possess qualities and abilities not conforming to the known laws of science. Psychopaths. The monsters are psychopathic or otherwise violently insane humans. Folkloric creatures have their origins in folklore, legends, and myths, or common phobias. Monsters are the embodiment of various common fears and phobias. Minor types included undead, humans, demons, extraterrestrials, and giant animals. I didn't catch the Klansman the first time. That was a surprise.
Yeah, like I said, if you go to some of the extra stuff, you'll see like, oh, I didn't even notice that monster. Which one was your favorite? Your favorite monster that they did out of the cubes?
I liked the unicorn. I thought the unicorn had the coolest kill. Well, I thought that was great. And the strangers kind of characters with the masks.
Yeah, the unicorn is very unexpected. I think that was one of the first. Don't quote me because I'm sure somewhere down the line someone else has done a very not nice unicorn, but that's the first time they've shown a violent unicorn.
Yeah, I'd never seen anything like that. I don't think it's gonna work anyway. But whatever.
Also, the link popped up, but yeah, Chesley said that she was about to send me the link
to
the monster thing because I wanted to know. But I remember Supernatural did an episode of I think like what is it? Imaginary Friends. And one of them was a unicorn and it killed somebody with their horn. And I was like, oh, that's just like Cabin in the Woods because
What about you? What was your favorite?
I think favorite I couldn't pin down, but the one that I think I would be most uncomfortable with going up against would be the Sugar Plum Fairy. The little girl with the circular ringworm teeth on her face.
I'm looking now at this fandom.com page for it. Mm-hmm. They busted out everything.
Yeah.
Like they got like who voted for what monsters and all that on here. That's insane. Finance department bets on the werewolf. Distribution department bets on vampires. Who voted for your Sugar Plum? What? Oh, I spelled sugar wrong. No one voted for the Sugar Plum Fairy.
Oh. Spooky Hollow said skip the Scarecrows.
Scarecrow. The DMA archives bet on Scarecrow. Tell us about the end, Chuck.
So, you had. It turns out Marty survived. So they
did.
They blew their load early and popped that fairy. So, he wasn't dead. And then you got him going down the basement. They work it out. They get to that room where the ritual is finalizing. So this is like sub basement. This is like the final basement, basically. This is about as low as it's going to get. And I like who they got to play the director. There was only 2 people that I think would have worked for this. And they got Sigourney Weaver as the director. When she walked out, she spoke. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Because she is a very prominent.
Iconic.
Yeah. Like, we know her as Ripley and stuff like that. I mean, it had to been her or Jamie Lee Curtis would have been the only two people I think that could have had that gravitas to them as being like a legend and being like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and does she really do anything anymore?
No, I haven't seen her do anything in a while. Listen, she's still living off all that James Cameron money from all the Alien movies. So.
She apparently did the Avatar movies.
Yeah, did she? I don't remember seeing her. I haven't watched the first Avatar since it came out because I'm like, it was okay, and I don't know if I'll ever watch. Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever watch the second one. But I heard you can come in like 45 minutes into it and still know what's going on because they just do a recap of the first movie.
Yeah, I guess she has done more than I realized. But Jamie Lee Curtis popped up in The Bear on Hulu. Are you safe?
Yeah, in the I didn't see. Oh yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis did come in. I watched The Bear because it has the guy that plays Lip from
Shameless.
Shameless, yeah, and I like him. So I did watch the first season of Bear, and then I watched the second. I think I got 3 more episodes of the second season, but she plays his mom.
Yeah,
Jamie Lee Curtis does.
That really took me by surprise. Spooky Hollow said he saw Oppenheimer earlier. I really want to see that movie.
The only reason I want to see it is because what is her name? The chick that's in it. That was also in Midsommar. Yeah. Does she have a nudie scene?
Yeah, you see some nip, I guess.
Yeah, that's the only reason I'd want to see it. So
I like her. I like her voice. Like when she's interviewed and stuff, she just seems like a real person. Like she's so. I can't think of her name. But Anthony over at Waldo Authentics was talking about it because he adores her.
Yeah.
And
he said somebody took their camera out.
Yeah.
And like at that point, and actually like shamelessly took a picture. I even commented.
Well, she was shamelessly,
she
was shamelessly flashing, and he was too.
Yeah.
Spooky Hollows. Did you see it on IMAX or did you see it just in the regular theater? 10-second delay. What is her first name? She has her septum pierced.
Because she plays, Black Widow's sister and stuff in the Marvel stuff.
Florence Pugh. You know who Marty's favorite actress is? She was in Oppenheimer.
Who's that?
Emily Blunt. Emily Blunt. Marty.
I mean, I don't know why you're doing what you're doing. Drop everything you're doing. Hit the road, be a comedian.
Comedy.
I tell Chesley that all the time because she thinks she's hilarious.
Oh man.
I'm just gonna forego the Oppenheimer mover and just get Oppenheimer. I can't say it.
Barbieheimer.
I'm just gonna go see Barbie.
Probably end up seeing Barbie. It's gotten a lot of good.
I doubt it. Like it might be like a movie if it comes on streaming, and I'm like, wow, I have nothing to do. Let's put that on the background.
Susan, I feel the same way. Like I've done it for the Marvel movies. I love the Marvel movies. But it's so hard to sit through a 3-hour movie.
Yeah.
Is Chesley in there?
Yeah.
Tell her that I moved her buddy.
He moved your clown head.
Did he really?
Yeah. I can't really see that well. Because you're tiny. You're about this big.
Yeah, he's over there.
She's looking now. But yeah, I guess the world ends. End of the movie.
Yeah, and like they said, that's why they can't do a sequel. But it's like I never thought about that. Like until you said that. Like, and that's great because they can't ruin it.
Yeah, there's no sequels, no nothing you can do. It's over.
So wild to me.
And we're pushing the 54-minute mark.
Yeah, we're almost there. So let's Chuck, what do you have coming up for the next week or so? What are your plans? What are your events?
Well, next week, next Saturday, if you're in the Beckley, West Virginia, Raleigh County area, come on down to BGX. I believe it's the 29th. and it's a gaming expo, and all the money goes to fundraise for charity and stuff. So
And
definitely come down and check them out.
I saw you your 2 vintage videos went up.
Yep, and I have a slew of other videos. I have a haul video. I have something special I got in from Blue Moon coming up. That's a few more that's sprinkled in there. I have a very honest opinion on a BAM item that they finally sent me.
Oh,
that I've been waiting on. So
I love those.
And it's only like a few. It's just a few seconds. So, how about you, Josh? What you got coming up?
You know, I got something in today that I should have done an unboxing for, and I didn't because I was too excited to open it. But it was just a record. My configuration box videos out there. Chuck, you got so damn lucky with your boxes. I haven't watched the second video yet, but since you told me what was in it and everything, I already knew. God, go away. With the way that you got the different pieces instead of everything the same, awesome. That was.
Oh yeah, awesome. I was extremely happy. I would hope that they kind of knew what was in the boxes when they were going out, and they're like, "Oh, this." I told you, I said, "Hey, this fat kid ordered 1 and 2. Let's not send him the same stuff." So
they just have to be so careful about that because, like, as soon as like they let it be known that if that's the case,
any kind of special treatment is
then all of a sudden it's like it's not a mystery if you know what boxes are what.
Yeah, well, the thing is too is you know, I never expect any kind of special treatment from a boxing company because I would never want it to alter, you know, how I judge them. Like I wouldn't want BAM to send me something special.
No, they won't.
For them to be like, oh well, maybe if we send him, you know, the good pieces, he'll be like, this is awesome. Or maybe if we send him stuff for free, he'll pat us on the back and make sure that, you know, nothing bad is said or.
And that's the cool thing about your videos is they're honest. Like you and I would say like Halloween Fiend PDX. Like you both like are very honest with your videos. If you get a poopy box, you're not going to put a smile on and pretend you love it in hopes that you're going to get something for that in the future.
Like I never try to go mean. Like I don't want to be mean or anything like that to hurt someone's business. But I don't want people to see my video and think, well, you know, he liked it. You know, why did I get a crap or anything like that? I just, you know, and like you're honest too, Josh.
Oh
you're
yeah,
just a nice guy about it.
There's been a few times that I've gotten feedback that I'm too mean, so I love that. Yeah. But next weekend I'm going to be going out to Detroit. I'm going to spend a day at the Motor City Frightmares. Motor City Frightmares, is that what it's called?
It's something.
Motor City Nightmares. My bad. So I have that going on. But that's really all I have going on anytime soon. I'm finally going to redeem the Cujo poster that I have that has my dog Cujo on it. I'm getting that re-signed since CPA fucked that up the first time around.
I do. That's one boxing company I'm not a huge fan of.
No.
Their mystery box, the mystery box I did from them was nice. I liked it. I've got the 2 Phantasm pieces. I liked them. I liked the mystery aspect. But when I got that card that was like redeem this card for free. Mark Burnham from Texas Chainsaw, and then how it was supposed to be free, but I ended up paying. I think it was like close to $40-some. The difference because they were like, oh well, do you want it certified? Yeah, we got to pay for that.
Yeah, I challenge you.
Yeah,
I challenge you. Anybody who sees this, I challenge you. Whenever they announce a signing, and it says for a low price of like $75, we'll say, whatever, right? Or starting at $75. Find a way to make your total that $75. It's impossible.
Yeah.
There's no way it will ever be $75. Don't Eat the Gum. I have too much stuff for Don't Eat the Gum. I've seen their boxes. I love what they're doing. I think they really do put a lot of time and effort into it. But if you have a lot of like toys and trinkets and things, for me, it's too risky that I'm going to get a repeat of something I already have. Chad, I have no idea how to answer that.
I actually can almost answer it
on
my end. Yeah, not on your end because I don't count yours.
I want to hear it. What do you got?
Strictly items, not autographs on items, because some of my items are dual signed, or triple signed, or quad signed. Just items. And this was almost 8 months ago when I did this because I was moving stuff around. I'm over 200.
Okay. All right.
So
Give me 1
200
second.
items.
Let me see.
Yeah. And I'll talk while you're counting. Spooky, I have a past video where I've done a don't eat the gum. And I was lucky enough to get one of my Toonie Terrors out of it that I was actually looking for. Because every once in a while they'll do a choose your own theme box where you can choose like 4 themes. And I think I went Tales from the Crypt, Friday the 13th, Reanimator, and Killer Clowns. Like Josh was saying, if you don't want extra like tchotchkes and stuff, like figures or getting doubles and stuff, then they're not a box to go with. But if you like getting that stuff and you're looking for a box to kind of replace maybe Fright Crate or Loot Fright or something like that you get that stuff in, then Don't Eat the Gum is a box to look at because you're going to get stuff like that.
Yeah, they're great. This flag
I'm pretty sure he's a one-man show. Like he does everything by himself, and he goes to conventions all the time, and he buys stuff at those conventions to put in the boxes.
Aren't they closing up?
Who? Don't Eat the Gum?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I haven't seen.
I think I had read that they're not going to be doing them for much longer. Like this poster behind me, they included that in one of their boxes, and I messaged him like, "Hey man, I have too much stuff. I don't want to buy your box. I love what you're doing, but," and he told me where he got it.
Yeah,
Chad, I would say in the room here, I would say there's probably about 150 signatures, multiple signed pieces and things like that. Upstairs and like in my notebooks and stuff, I know I have more. Chuck has more than me. He's been doing this a lot longer than me, but I would say I'm probably about the 150 mark.
Yeah, if I did just signatures, I'd have.
Yeah,
I thought you were over 3 to 4 or something like that.
I thought you were selling yourself short there.
Yeah. Well, it's been 8 months since I've counted, and I've been to probably 2 conventions and multiple boxes since then. So, but it's that time to wrap up. We don't want to.
Hell yeah!
And now we're not even talking about the movie. We're just bullshitting. If we want to bullshit, we can open up a bullshit stream.
Bullshit stream. I love bullshit streams. I like to go live randomly every once in a while and just talk.
Well, hope everybody watched the movie and enjoyed it, and then enjoyed us talking about it. Even though it was like, I would like for it to feel like you come in and you sit it down at the couch, like, "Hey, did you guys see Cabin in the Woods?" And you just kind of bullshit back and forth, to each other. That's what I would like for it to feel like. I don't know if it's coming off that way yet, but hopefully
we'll get there. And we gotta keep coming back. Spooky Hollows, I know you come every time you can. Chad, I know you'll be back. Keep coming back and checking it out. Something you said we're gonna have to put out our next survey for what to watch next. So keep an eye out for that. Throw some suggestions out at us on Facebook, on YouTube, Instagram, wherever.
Yeah, we'll
I know live, Shrooms is on Tubi. I saw it earlier.
I think we're going to shoot for, what do you think, August 5th, that Saturday, and we'll make the announcement that Saturday, August 5th. Is that good for you? That sounds
good to me. Yeah, it sounds good to me.
I'm thinking the August 6th, me and Chesley's going to take the family to ice cream because they've never been. That's later in the day. I have actor auditions for the haunted house for Fright Nights, but that's early on, so we're good. So we're good for the 5th to make the announcement for August's movie.
Yep, I'm good on that.
Yeah, throw some suggestions out there, guys, and then whenever we make our poll, it might hit it. Josh is typing something.
Oh, sir, I didn't want to interrupt you to say thank you to Chad. Thank you, Chad. I appreciate you. I'm going to say it, not type it now. But all right, guys, that wraps it up for the night. I hope you enjoyed what we talked about, and I hope you give us some suggestions so we can do it again next time. We'll be back on August 5th, as Chuck just said.
Yeah, we appreciate everybody, and until next time.
Bye.